Hello everyone, welcome to FedScoop TV. Greg Otto here. We're coming to you from the IT Modernization Summit today, and I'm talking with Kovar Gregory, a Senior Director for CA Technologies. Kovar, thanks for joining us today.
Thanks for having me.
So talk to me a little bit about what are the barriers for agencies when it comes to modernizing their IT systems.
So we see a lot of barriers, and they vary a little bit agency to agency, but most of them really fall into three main buckets. It's around the people, the process, and the technology. So people's nothing new. It's making sure you have the right people in the right place with the right skill set. Right now, not only the government, but the industry is kind of struggling around that a little bit because a lot of the folks are either near or at retirement age, and we don't have those skill sets to replace them. So that's one of the barriers currently. Process goes all over the place. A lot of agencies have their specific processes that are a challenge, but I think overall we see a lot of places the procurement process is a barrier, for the agencies to get the technology and the services they need in a timely fashion to be able to modernize their applications.
So let's talk about the process there a little bit. How can CIOs help their employees embrace new technology?
So I think internally there's several things not only they can do, but all the technology leadership. A lot of the new methodologies coming out, Agile being one, can help the teams, work a little closer together, be motivated. But other than that, I think there's a lot of lessons learned, not only from the industry, but from other governments that they can expand on and help their teams. So one example, since we're approaching tax time here in April, is the public-private partnerships that the IRS has with the tax preparers or the processes. When they opened up their systems, it was really a triple win. So the agency won because they're not dealing with as many paper returns and there's less errors on that because it's electronic. The industry won because they're able to offer another service and charge for it, and the taxpayer won. It's a lot easier, a lot more convenient to be able to file your taxes now. So I think they need to look at more examples of being able to do that, and also look at how other countries are doing it. So, look at the shared services model in Canada, look at some of the digital services stuff that's being done in the UK, and how, Singapore and some other countries have set up a citizen portal.
So talking about the technology part of the people, process, and technology equation, what, in your opinion, is a system or systems within the federal government that are most in need of an upgrade?
So that's really the million-dollar question, right? Is that's what everyone's looking at. Where's the low-hanging fruit? What can be done quick? And the problem is a lot of these old, legacy systems are very complex. They have a lot of moving parts. So the thing we see a lot is instead of trying to tackle the whole thing, look at where the low-hanging fruit is. And it doesn't have to be the entire application. You can take a subset of that system or that application and modernize that. So make it available to the legacy system through APIs, but also open up that data set, whether to the public or other agencies where appropriate. So you're not only helping that system, but you're helping everyone else. And while you're modernizing that, take advantage of some of the new technology, whether it's microservices, maybe Dockers, some sort of containers. So as the rest of the application gets modernized, you can host or run that on any platform. You're not pigeonholed into one.
So how do culture and workforce play into a modernization movement inside an agency?
So that's very important. Without the people on board, you're not really going to be able to have success, or at least not in a timely fashion. So you got to have the people on board. You have to have them engaged. One example I heard recently in the healthcare industry is a team of developers were interviewed before they moved to an agile team set. And the responses of what do you do? I write code that pulls records from databases and compares the output. Very, very rudimentary. You could tell that they really weren't engaged.
Okay.
They moved to an agile model, and as that part of the process, they actually got to meet the customers. They actually brought them in and engaged them in part of the development process. And unbeknownst to the team, once they met some of the end users, which were medical professionals, nurses, the code they were writing was actually helping save lives. So by comparing drugs and make sure there was no interaction. So by having your development teams that engaged and invested in the ultimate mission, it makes them more productive, and it also helps recruiting new people and retaining your top talent.
How does cybersecurity play into this? I mean, I know it's a big part, but I mean, there's so many moving parts with modernization, as we were talking about. How does the security of everything fit in?
Everywhere. I mean, from the beginning, from the idea to outcome, it's got to be there. So from the planning, to the development, to the testing, to the deployment, you have to consider security as part of that. So we have the traditional identity management, threat management, which we do and we got to continue to do, but we got to look at other levels. So one of the areas we focus on, an important area, is to compare it to physical security, is the future is all APIs and sharing data. So putting a layer or a gate above that is an area that we can help secure with. So think of it as a physical gate. Anybody that's coming in has to go through that. Any data they request and go out is being examined. So you can have as many, we'll call them security guards at that gate,
Right.
looking at everything that comes in and out. So it's kind of a one-stop shop where you can set all your policies. You don't have to set it on every single application. You can set it in one place. So it makes it a lot easier to maintain, a lot more secure, and in the event somebody unauthorized does get in, you can minimize the amount of data that they actually have access to.
Great. Kovar, appreciate your insights. Thanks for joining us today.
Thanks for having me.
For all of our videos, check out our YouTube channel, and for more information, check out fedscoop.com. I'm Greg Otto. Thanks for watching.